I don't know, Spirit wants me to do a part 2. Okay, so I was talking about how the Republicans are doing that work for. I was doing a tarot reading, and then this is part 2. I'm still doing that recording part, but yeah, the Republicans, how they are doing work for benefits, work for Medicaid, like that work requirement that they're, and a lot of people are sick, and then every 6 months you have to renew it. And what I kept saying was, everybody grab a shovel. Everybody grab a shovel, and it won't be that much work. And what I'm getting is that there's a duality. I'm seeing the moon. There's a secret. They're both two sides of the same coin. And do not get held up on you're on one side or the other, because this is a human issue. They just use both sides to help, like, kind of control us, but they're still together. It's just one. Some people believe in different things, but they're still united. They're still. It's like a cohesive unit, like a co-parenting. I'm seeing, like, okay. If you're too hung up on Democrat or Republican talking points, you're not going to see the big picture. You get stuck in that, and then you're missing out. Even your enemies, pay attention to what your karmics show you. Even people that your enemies can show you things. They're highlighting things to you, and you don't think about it because you don't like those people, and you're not seeing what it is, the lesson that is that they are trying to show you. And then sometimes you get drawn into that when you rebel against people that are for you, like your family. Like, say you were born into a really conservative family. And you start, like, going towards people that are more liberal because of your conservative parents. Everybody rebels against their parents. You rebel against your childhood in every way. You always end up doing something different than your parents did. I don't know why I'm being reminded of Stephen Miller. His parents are Democrats, like diehard Democrats, and he went against them. Now he's a diehard Republican. The other, like, maybe you came from a conservative family and you're more liberal now as an adult because you're gay or you're okay with that, and they were so against it. And then, like, for me, for instance, I will just talk about this. I didn't ever notice the other side of it because I was really closed off to that because of my religious hypocrite views from my family. And not me, my family. They are very considerate, like that difference, like duality. They are very inconsiderate people, but because of it's like they're on the border. Some people are like moderate Democrats, moderate Republicans. Like, there's always levels to this. So as you keep going, it can be, you can go off on a tangent and believing different things. Like, your views get distorted. I'm a Democrat, so everything the Republicans say is bullshit. I'm a Republican, so everything the Democrats say is bullshit. And there's extremism in everything, so you're missing the big picture here. Okay, for me, for instance, I always wanted to, since I was little, I remember I was probably like 7 or 8, and I was with my grandpa, and he would always take me to McDonald's when I was little. My aunts would get jealous and pissed off because he was my grandpa. I was his grandkid. Like, he would take me everywhere I wanted, and I was spoiled because my mom was in and out of jail till I was older, and so my grandparents spoiled me. Now that they have grandkids, they realize it, but before, they used to get jealous about me. Like they felt that it was like a sibling rivalry. So I remember when I was younger, and I was like, Grandpa, I want apple, but I didn't mean an apple, I meant stock. Like, from that young age, right? But then I never did it because I had all these other problems. There was generational trauma and all kinds of trauma in my family, that unhealed patterns, unhealed behavior, and I was bedridden. I was ill with spell work, with a generational curse from this man that was my karmic, and I wasn't awakened yet. But I knew all these little pings, all these little things were going on in my life. I needed to ground. There was somebody, I was being stupid. I wasn't in control. It was an abuse of control of my emotions. It was to disconnect me from my from being grounded, from my emotional state of mind, this person. So I never looked into the thing until I got older, but really, like, I didn't have the money to do it, or the know-how. Even when I had the money, I was Democrat, this is, I wouldn't even listen to the Republicans. The Republicans, like, even when they crashed the economy, like, emotional thinking, like, and immature thinking, keeping me disconnected. I couldn't think about all this other stuff that I want to do, because your enemies will show you something too. You need to see what it is that they're showing you. A lot of times you leave your parents that are nurturing and loving, and you go to a bad friend that treats you like shit. I had this one people that were like my childhood best friend. His family, trauma. I'm remembering this scene from Will and Grace, going at it like Italians, like they were Italian. And they would fight, like they'd fight each other. And I grew up around that. I get a lot of my, like, from them, because, like, I grew up around them. They were like my second family. He was, and they were Italian. And they would fight, like they will fight you. So, like, just all of that, like, okay, I'm getting lost in this again. And not getting distracted by all of that nonsense of your trauma, of your traumatic past, the self-limiting beliefs that come with that, the neglect, the overindulgence that it leads to. You sabotage. You go to a family that, or a people, like you get a bad boyfriend, bad girlfriend, and you kind of indulge in that stuff that your parents were like, you can't do that, you can't do that. And what's that? You tell somebody they don't do that, that's the thing they want to do the most. So you went to some kind of other person that was like completely opposite of your family. And then sometimes you end up being like in the middle of that. You go to extremism. You want to see the other side for what it's worth. But then you stop paying attention to the other side, like the Democrats and the Republicans, to see the bigger picture. This is a human issue. So everybody grab the shovel and do what you're supposed to do. Do your part. You're a teacher, do your part. Help people. You want that emotional fulfillment, you're resisting a change. You're resisting a change, so you're losing control. You need to get back in control of things. You need to have a system in place. You're not working, you're not collaborating. You're going at it solo. It's too hard for one person to do all on their own. You're neglecting your self-care. You can't. The twos are about alignment, but maybe your money's out of whack. I couldn't do what it is that I needed to do because of my finances. So I wasn't paying attention to anything else. I was only worried about that. You can only see 3 feet in front of you. You're not thinking about the big picture. So if you're constantly having financial problems and you're just like, I can't focus on anything else, then you're not realizing what it is that everything else is that's going on. I can't tell you how much after my spiritual awakening, paying attention to what my karmics are showing me, paying attention to what the Republicans are doing also, not just the Democrats, that I am awakening to the other side of what the big picture is, because you're missing the big piece of the puzzle. You don't have the whole picture. I'm seeing a part of 21 Jump Street where they thought that the drug dealer was this person, but it really was like that was the main person or something. They went off on a clue that was the other way. Like maybe that when they were in the guy's office and they were talking and they tell the therapist to shut up, and then they're like, well, what if that person was not the dealer or the client but the dealer? Like they started, you know what I mean? Like, whew. So everybody do your part. Stop sabotaging. Protect yourself. Protect your energy. That's the secret. If you are not practicing a protection routine, then you're sabotaging yourself. And you can't go on your journey unless you are doing that part for yourself, to creating that peace internally for yourself and Yeah.